Hello, Cube friends. We're back with another team draft over on the Divination server. This time, we are actually going to be drafting LSV's Vintage Cube, and my understanding is that it has just been updated with Modern Horizons 3 cards, so that's pretty exciting. Alright, let's take a look at pack 1 here. So, I am a sucker for fixing, and I'm going to draft this, this Misty Rainforest for sure. I think Hull Breacher is also up there, and I wonder if that is worth drafting over a fetch land here. It's kind of tough. So this is a powered cube. I don't know if I said that. This is LSV's powered vintage cube. So Hull Breacher is going to be pretty powerful. But I just feel so open drafting Misty Rainforest. I don't know. That could be wrong. So it's my opinion that no matter what the cube looks like, there should be some kind of upper tier of power outliers that are supposed to be pack one, pick one over fixing. Now, in Vintage Cube, it's really easy to identify those cards because they're all just actual power. But maybe it's the case that Hull Breacher is actually up there, and maybe that's wrong. But I am going to keep just drafting sort of fixing. Troll of Khazad-dûm is awesome fixing in powered Vintage Cube because it's kind of like a fetch land that also kills your opponent when you reanimate it. We might play that in a land slot. I usually do, but it kind of depends. Ooh, okay, here's Fast Bond. Definitely a broken thing we could be doing. And probably also a good indicator that green is pretty open. So I think I'm going to go with this and see where it takes us. Okay, Brain Freeze is also probably one of the premier storm outs in this cube. I wonder if we're able to draft enough fixing to just play this Brain Freeze Fast Bond Storm deck. We've already got the Misty, we already got the Troll. Okay, here's Lightning Bolt. That card is good. Cryptic, World Spineworm. I'm assuming based on the presence of World Spineworm that there's a flash in the cube. I also don't know how big this cube is and how much of it I'm seeing. I'm gonna guess it's a 540. So an interesting spot here. Tracker is probably the best at what we're currently doing. Chromatic Star also just kind of good generically in our Storm-ish deck. Let's go Star. Okay, Mystical Tutor can put us further into Storm. So can Saheeli. This is a late Corpse Dance as well. I wonder if we want to just move into Reanimator, seeing how open it is. Atali is still here. Alright. Both of these Warhammer cards are still here. So is Through the Breach. I wonder if we want to Through the Breach and, yeah, abandon this Brain Freeze and try to Through the Breach Reanimator kind of thing. Unmarked Grave. This one only hits non-legendary creatures, unfortunately. But it does kind of go into the deck. What did I do here? Oh, I put this in the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. Unmarked Grave is a 2. Show and Tell comes back, a card that I usually don't like putting in my cube decks, but if we can wheel that Atali, maybe we're getting somewhere. Dark Slick Shores is also tempting. Let's give it a try. I'm constantly saying mean things about Show and Tell, so maybe I should actually give it a try. This card will be good with Flash if we find it. And the Atali didn't come back, so we're going to have to find something else. I don't think this pick matters that much. World Spine Worm is unfortunately a terrible reanimator target in that it does not work at all. Shuffles back into your deck. This one is a trigger as opposed to a replacement effect, so we can corpse dance it. Unlike Blightsteel, for example, which is a replacement effect. All right, pack 2. Strip Mine, probably way up there. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be that. I think we already saw the Crucible in pack 1 too, so I'm a little scared of passing the Strip Mine. We could be cutting it from a teammate, but hard to say. Ooh, okay, can we splash this Uro into our otherwise pretty anemic Reanimator deck? I think that card is very powerful. So is Spelljacker, and so is Life Death. I think those are my main picks here. But I think we might be able to get the Life Death back. It seems like we saw a lot of pretty late Reanimator pieces. We do still need to find something that we can search for with Unmarked Grave that's worth reanimating. I mean, Troll is kind of there, but Shinobi is also a possibility. This is just another generically good card as well. I'm going to put this in the 4 slot. Okay. Zagoth Triumph is really tempting here for our potential green splash for Uro and maybe even Fastbond, depending. I think Fastbond does not currently make the cut here, but there is a world in which it does. Okay, here's a new card, 6. 6 gives non-land permanent cards in your graveyard retrace, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if 6 is really worth the splash here. I'm considering just hate drafting this Relic of Progenitus, because I don't think we care that much about any of the cards here, and this card is good against my deck. I'm not typically a person who thinks that hate drafting is good. Many people will tell you you shouldn't hate draft because you are only playing against less than 50% of your opponents, and so making their decks worse at the expense of your deck is no good. But in team draft, you're playing against all of your opponents, and most of the people that are sitting around the table are your opponents. So hate drafting does go up in stock a little bit in this format compared to a traditional 8-player Swiss draft. Triplicate Titan absolutely fits the bill here for things that we can get with Unmarked Grave that we actually want to reanimate. So this one's going to go right in the deck. I'm thinking about Brazen Borrower here. Necron Deathmark is also pretty cool with Show and Tell. So maybe we'll give that one a shot. Ooh, Toxic could be really important here. Just don't want to get run over. Bonnie Paul, is that worth splashing here? We have no actual ramp, and we have a very light green splash, but I think it's potentially justifiable to reanimate this thing as well. The Life Death didn't come back, so somebody's fighting me on this. We're going to end up just kind of blue-black control. Yeah, nothing jumping out at me here. I think, going to play Strip Mine in a spell slot in 3 colors. It really depends. Like, obviously it taps for colorless mana, but it's at its best when you are sacrificing it. People are so low on green. Maybe rightfully so, I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Entomb is going to be pretty good here. Let me take this through the reach out. We're not casting that card. Our fixing is a little weak here, especially for the back half of Uro. I wonder if we can wheel either Breeding Pool or Hedge Maze. The fact that they're both here makes me feel a little more confident about that. And then we'll be able to cast this Bonnie Paul and this Uro, perhaps. I think the Entomb is really important for our game plan. If we can find one more Reanimator spell, we're kind of in business. Interesting. I think I might just draft... This is tough. So Shifting Woodland is pretty interesting. You can actually use this as a reanimation spell, in a sense, because you can turn it into a copy of something in your graveyard and then attack your opponent with it. But it's going to be tough to support this with the amount of fixing here. And also, since green is so maligned, I think we can wheel the Breeding Pool and then reevaluate the Shifting Woodland. So what I am going to do here is I think either Gitaxian Probe or Concealing Curtains. I think Curtains is good. It blocks well. It only hits opponents, so that's a little bit worse. But oh, here's Underworld Breach. Interesting. Also Infernal Grasp, and also Gruff Triplets, but still no flash. We've got good flash targets. I don't think we actually need the Gruff Triplets here. So I'm thinking Grasp, probably. I think that's where I'm going to go. This pack is so red. There's Gristlebrand. Once upon a time, the best Reanimator target there was. Still pretty good. But we are still pretty low on actual Reanimator spells. So I think what I'd like to draft here is Palantir Orthonk. This one can actually mill our ramp targets here and potentially deal a bunch of damage. Ooh, Crabomination. This is a card I have not played with yet and have been pretty excited to play with. So the other thing is Portal to Phyrexia is really good with Show and Tell because it kills whatever your opponent puts in. No Tinker or anything like that, though. What artifacts can we emerge from? And do we even care about emerging from artifacts when it comes to Crabomination? I want to try this card. I have never played with it. I've heard cool things about it from other cube curators. I'm just going to give it a go. Ooh, there's Shallow Grave. Okay. Yeah, all right, now we're cooking, I think. Yep, we did wheel the Breeding Pool and the Hedge Maze. I'm going to take the Pool, I think. We're light on fetches, and so I'm a little lower on the tap land because we can't end step it as easily. And here is the Shifting Woodland. Yeah, I think this is good. I'm going to give it a try. Okay, I think Courser here, we're probably not going to play it. I do think we maybe want to mainboard this Worldspine Worm now, though. Hard to say. That could be too many of these sort of ramp targets, but with the Shallow Grave, we can actually hit it, which is pretty cool. For sure Turok here. We could Bill, we could Nethergoyf, we could Ashen Rider for our various Reanimator stuff. I'm going to take the Bill, I think. I don't know if any of these cards are actually making it into our deck. And Harvester. Yeah, Harvester's actually great. We can discard it and we can reanimate it. I do think I want to play 18 lands in this deck. All of our reanimation targets are actually technically castable if the game goes incredibly long. and one of our lands is strip mine. So let's take a look here. We're going to put the woodland in, the breeding pool, the misty, and that's it. Oh no, sorry, triome. And then I think we probably will need like one of each basic, probably. 1, 2, 3 green sources. Our only blue spell here is Show and Tell and Bonnie Paul. Yeah, we should go up on islands just a little bit. I think it's going to look something like this. All right, I will see you in the matches. All right, here we are in match 1, and we are on the draw. Let's see. So Troll can get us green mana if we need it, and well, we have a lot of stuff that goes into our graveyard or puts stuff into our graveyard, but nothing to get it back out. I think this is probably fine with Troll and Harvester and a decent mid game. I'm gonna give it a try. Island pass from opponent. Ooh, okay. An even better one drop than Cycle Troll. That's all we got. This card is cool. I haven't played a lot with it. It's just a little bit too defensive on the stat line for my personal cube. But it is hand attack, which is an effect that I love a lot. Oh no. Alright, opponent has Tolarian Academy, Zuran Orb. What do we got? Alright, and here's our Corpse Dance. So, yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and cast the Unmarked Grave here at sorcery speed, which we have to do because of the sorcery, and grab something nasty. So the Triplicate Titan is already in our hand, unfortunately. And Concealing Curtains also does not actually Thoughtseize us. One of the drawbacks of some of the newer hand attack spells is they do not say target player on them. Okay, so our options here are going to be probably Fallen Shinobi or Crab Abomination. I think the crab is going to be pretty good, honestly. I'm going to grab that. So this is a new card. I'm going to take a look at it for those of you who haven't seen it before. When this enters the battlefield, you get essentially a random card from opponent's hand, graveyard, and library, and then you choose one of them to cast for free. Alright, Saheeli. Looks like we found the Storm player, perhaps. But this is awesome. If they don't have any free interaction here, we can actually just kill the Saheeli and also get a card out of it, which I'm pretty excited about. Okay, we have to open up the exile zone here. We hit 2 lands, so we can't actually cast anything. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Saheeli goes down, and we also got a card out of their hand, I guess. Oh well, not the most impressive of Reanimator turns here. And now opponent has only 1 card left, so we are going to go ahead and transform this thing. This will take their card, and cool. So they got as much mana here, and now it starts beating down as well, which is going to be important. Okay, I did already play a land this turn. I believe. Trigger. Yeah, I played a swamp this turn. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, I thought this was just Thoughtseize. I didn't know that they were getting a card back. That is much worse. I would have just left them with Lotus Petal. But here I am, revealing that I have never played with this card before. No pun intended. Yep, there's a top. Spin top. Looks good. Now, do we want to get an untapped source? I guess we can cross that bridge when we come to it. If they play something that's worth killing, we can get an untapped source for the Necron Deathmark, and if not, I think I'm just going to grab maybe the Triome, honestly, to keep ourselves on green mana in case we draw something. Yeah, I'm going to grab the Triome. We can also cycle it if we want to. Okay, holding up Necron Deathmark seems pretty good. It's also a 5/3. Jeez. I think it's huge. Alright, that's a lot of mana. What do we got? Portal 2 Phyrexia. Pretty good. Okay. So they can start getting... Let's see. They can get my Troll. Yeah, this is not good. Believe it or not. The old hardcast Portal to Phyrexia. Pretty sick. I wonder if we want to Necron Deathmark here and then start attacking, or if we want to save it for the Troll. I think I'm going to cycle the Triome. Okay, Elves of Deep Shadow. Can't cast that. But maybe one day. And I'm going to cast the Harvester. The idea being here, if they get the Troll and then we kill the Troll, we get to attack them for a lot of damage. Portal 2 Phyrexia is going to target Troll as expected. I think this is totally fine. Once again, we can just kill it and then present lethal. Kill it, attack them down to 9, and then I guess they get it back, and then we attack them down to 4. But, ooh, okay. That's scary. I'm surprised to see the Lava Spur boots in the Sensei's Divining Top Zern Orbitalian Academy deck, so I wonder if maybe they have the Blightsteel Colossus and they're just planning on casting it. Down to 13. And top activation. Okay. Metamorph is going to make, what, another portal? Oh, another harvester. Interesting. Why? Just to keep the pressure going? Then why not make another troll? Very interesting. This is not quite lethal on the crackback. Oh, I guess they can take my curtains and then flip it. No, they can't. They have no black mana. So if I don't put anything into my graveyard, then they can't make a hasty threat unless they draw something. But I'm still losing the race here. I can attack with the Harvester, kill the Troll, take 5 down to 8, and then crack back for 10. They'll have a Concealing Curtains to block with, though. Wow, very interesting. I think the attack is good. They block. I think I'm winning this race. Lava Spur Boots could always throw a wrench in that, though. And also Zurin Orb as well. I will say I'm glad they spent the Phyrexia Metamorph before I cast the Necron Deathmark. That would have been pretty bad. I also always have a chance of milling. I think I can target whoever I want with this, right? Target player mills 3 cards, yeah. So I'm going to mill them. I think they're less likely to have a creature in their deck that they want. Okay, there's top. Back from last turn. Okay. Hopefully they don't just find a creature and kill me. Or a black source for that matter. Does black source make me actual dead? Let's see. No. Both of them have menace though. I would be taking 8, 9 down to 4. That would be very bad. Target this creature and target my opponent with the mill. Ward trigger resolves and pay 1. I am concerned about milling my own big reanimator stuff, and yeah, like I said, I don't think they really have a lot of creatures that they care about. So I'm going to take 5 here. I'm going to slap back for 10. Boots goes on that thing, that's fine. That doesn't seem to really matter here. It does have Defender, and they don't have any black sources yet. Ooh. Interesting. So I can slam in, and then I could maybe pay 4. No, that's got to be really bad, because Portal of Phyrexia. So, yeah, this is just a terrible draw. If I attack, they have to block, and then they're going to get the Troll back. And then maybe I take down to 3 and I attack them for lethal. I mean, the Zurin Orb messes it up, but we can see what they want to do with their Zurin Orb. I don't think the block is very good for me anyway, just because the Portal to Phyrexia reanimates everything. Yep, they want the Troll back, unsurprisingly. And, oh, Troll gets haste, duh, from the boots. Okay, so I was dead either way. If I had left my creatures back to block, they could have hit me for 7, I guess. I technically would have been alive, but yeah. I don't think that with the orb and the boots in the equation, there was basically anything that I could do. Okay, so I did swap in this elves at the last second. I thought maybe 5 green sources would be enough, and I think it probably is, honestly. The problem is it's only really good in the early turns. So I think I'm just going to take it back out. I don't know. I'm not super convinced here. Let's get Chromatic Star back in. And, oh, also Zeator's Proving Ground can just be in my main deck. I don't know what I'm doing there. And so does Odawara. How did this get here? Did I just forget a bunch of my lands when I was building? I guess so. Sorry about that. maybe they were in a different pile. I'll have to go back and check. I don't know how I missed them. All right, well, this looks better than what I had in game one. All right, on the play this time. And a bunch of lands and a Bonnie Paw. I think this hand is too slow. Unfortunately, yeah, just too many lands. Gonna mulligan. This one is looking a little bit better. We have, yeah, we've got some removal. If we draw any kind of big O, we can kind of try to do something with that with the bone shards. I am going to bottom, I think, the second swamp. So Zeator's Proving Ground is probably our turn one play. We could also slam the Chromatic Star, but I don't think it matters really when we play that. All right, and the top is back. Entomb. Once again, all of the ways to get stuff into the yard and nothing to do. I am going to cycle this end step and make a black if nothing else seems to matter. We've got all of our colors already. Okay, Reckoner, Bankbuster. I wonder if I was supposed to cut that show and tell knowing that opponent has the portal in their deck. Ooh, Troll. Let's just cycle that instead. Okay. Alright, so now we are kind of building our way up to 6 mana here. So I'm going to play the tap land. We've got removal up at instant speed if we need it, for in the form of Harvester, and if we make it another turn or two, we can start casting Harvesters and Bonnie Paws respectively. Ooh, Synthesizer. Okay, that's pretty sick. We didn't see that many big artifacts out of them in the first game, but even one Construct at this point is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. I think so we've got the Bone Shards for the first one. I'm going to Entomb the Triplicate Titan here. I really don't want to draw that card. I think that's the best one. We could Entomb the Uro, I guess. We're getting close to actually casting it. Yeah, maybe that's good. I guess drawing the Uro would be way better than drawing the Titan in this spot, though, because then it ends up in our graveyard anyway, and we don't have anything to do until turn 5. Interesting. Uro is real, like, concrete card advantage in the graveyard, so that's probably the highest EV. Going to play this and then see if opponent does anything. Hopefully we can Infernal Grasp something, or I don't know. I'd like to start moving towards the Uro. Activate the Bankbuster, draw a card. On to combat over here, and yeah, nothing. All right. This is both good and bad. Eventually they're going to do something crazy, but our card quality is pretty high. I kind of wish I could cast the Bone Shards with no targets here, honestly, and get this Uro onto the battlefield, but nope, we got nothing right now. All right, they're gonna spin top, and we're just gonna keep sitting here. All right, there's the monolith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana here. Definitely pretty far away from anything like a portal to Phyrexia. But hopefully a creature or planeswalker that I can interact with. Golos, okay. That definitely counts. So Golos is a 3/5, and the token is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So either way, we're going to have to Bone Shards and Infernal Grasp those ones. I assume this is going to go get Tolarian Academy. Oh, Mishra's Workshop instead. Okay. So Construct token is now a 5/5. We can 6/6, that is. Crabomination. I think that's going to get discarded to Bone Shards here. It's a shame that we can't also cast the arrow. We just yeah, we have double blue, double green, but we can't actually cast it, and we also don't have enough mana because the Zagoth Triome is a green and a blue. So Crabomination being the furthest thing and also probably the weakest thing is what I think I'm going to discard. Kill this, pay a black, discard the crab, and then we just have to draw a blue or a green, and it'll be Uro time. But now opponent is swimming in mana and also still has card advantage in the form of Bankbuster, so we are really far behind here. Yeah, okay. I'm feeling ready to pack it up here, honestly. I don't think we are literally dead yet, but I don't know what sequence of draws gets us out of this. Yeah, Kappa Cannoneer, also crazy. Yeah, this is interesting. It's not really an artifact combo deck in any real sense. It's just like a good artifacts deck. It's neat that Simulacrum Synthesizer has opened up that kind of thing for Vintage Cube. I feel like Mishra's Workshop has really been going down in stock, but having this kind of Kappa Cannoneer / synthesizer sort of plan, it reminds me of like 8-cast in Legacy, as opposed to something like, I don't know, Paradoxical Storm, which is what a lot of the vintage Cube sort of artifact decks look like. Let's cast this thing. We're gonna block with it, and we're also just dead anyway, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm just going to scoop this one up. I trust my opponent to correctly identify that they just need to attack with all of their creatures to kill me. Alright, I went ahead and fixed those problems with my mana base. Hopefully that's kosher, since I don't know anything about my opponent's deck yet. I haven't watched any of the other matches and stuff like that, so Not trying to do any pre-sideboarding here, just trying to make sure my deck isn't horrendously misbuilt by accident. Gonna take the play. Ooh, okay. So 2 lands and some cards we can cast off of those 2 lands, and also a meaningful show and tell thing, even if it's not one of the best show and tell things. I think this hand is good enough. It's not stellar, but it's good enough. My opponent has mulled to 6, and that's all we got here. I think this is a hand where I don't actually want to... Well, this is interesting. I could entomb something big, which would be bad, like, which reduces the deck quality in terms of drawing stuff that's good with show and tell, right? Like if I entomb the Triplicate Titan, I actually kind of want to draw that here because of the show and tell. Ooh, okay, maybe never mind. Do I want to entomb in response? And then... Oh, this is interesting. We're probably not going to take the show and tell because I don't have anything very good. So that would lead me to want to put something in my graveyard that's not necessarily good with show and tell. But then if they do take the show and tell, I might draw a bad card. This is an interesting spot. I think I'm supposed to cast the entomb at the very least. Yeah, let's just put the Titan in. There's a couple of reasons we would want this in the bin. And there are also other good things we can draw to show and tell in, and we have the Bonnie Paul already. I don't know. That's a really interesting decision right there. They did take the show and tell. Okay, fascinating. Joke's on you, I apparently don't have any blue sources in my deck. Okay, there's the Utopia Sprawl. Checking my team chat over here, it looks like this opponent is on some kind of Jund, Bombardiers, Minskin Boo sort of thing. Just good red cards with hand attack. There's the Zagoth Triome. I think I'm going to play this. Oh, what did they exile? Snow-covered forest. They have to be pretty careful with what they play and what they put in their bin here with the Voidwalker. They already know about the Infernal Grasp. Let's attack first. This is probably going to be Minskin Boo. Ooh, Deathgreater's Champion. This is interesting. So I can kill it, and then I can just put it onto the battlefield under my control. Is that not what I want here? I think it is. They have 3 cards in hand. So I can continue attacking with the Voidwalker, or I can try and make a Deathgreater's Champion and try to close the game out faster. Very interesting. I think I'm going to make a Deathgreater's Champion. Maybe it's better to wait. I could wait until I have another creature, and then I could actually get value off of the ETB trigger. That might be better. I am going to play the Woodland out here. If they have any kind of edict effect, then I can turn the Woodland into a Titan and maybe get them. Okay, here's the Hierarch. the Jund 1. Okay, Bristlebud Farmer. Pretty good. Pretty good. A big guy. World Spine Worm. Okay. I could block and trade if I make the double strike guy. I could continue attacking. No third green source here quite yet. Oh, actually. Oh, that was a mistake. I played my land too early. Unfortunate. Alright, well, in that case, we're going to attack with the Voidwalker, and we are going to do that next turn. But what I should have done is grab the snow-covered forest and turn my woodlands into a Triplicate Titan. Oh, they sacked the food. Okay, well, those go straight into the void. Oh, actually, hang on. This is worded so that... Yes, yeah. This is worded so they can actually get it back. They took Birds of Paradise. The reason that works is because it doesn't tell you to return the card from your graveyard. It just asks that the card was milled with this effect. And so the replacement effect, it can still find it because it's the same game object. Thought sees me, that's fine. Go for it. Okay, we are gonna not mess this up this time. I honestly would have guessed that this didn't hit lands if I didn't know for a fact that it did hit lands, because this past weekend I was playing at a Legacy tournament and my opponent was on Scam and I was on Green-White Depths, as I usually am. And they had two Voidwalkers. They took my Thespian Stage and my Dark Depths and they made a Merit Lage. That was pretty sick. I ended up winning that game because I also had a Merit Lage and I Caracased their Merit Lage. All right. Well, based on what my teammate said, there are plenty of things that can kill me from 12 here. I would die to the... I'm exactly dead to Minskenbu, and I'm also exactly dead to Broadside Bombardiers. Okay, looks like they didn't find it. So, is there anything we want here for this deck? I don't think so. It seems to just be good cards that attack you. I don't have any extra removal to bring in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to try and, play my good cards and maybe cheese them with Reanimator. Going to be on the draw this time. And I've got Uro on turn 3, which feels pretty strong with Bonnie Paul also in your hand. Going to keep this. I'm going to lead on Misty, and I'm going to grab probably tapped Breeding Pool. We already have a bunch of lands. We've got Ramp, and this is going to take Infernal Grasp. That's fine. And so I'd like to keep the cycle land here in case I want to cycle it. Pyrite Spellbomb. That's interesting. Just to draw a card? Oh, no. We saw... Sorry, they're Jund. Oh, whoops. I was too busy talking and did not crack my fetch land. Well, in this case, indeed, just to draw a card. Okay, here's that new 6. So when it attacks, they mill and get a land back, and then it gives their permanence retrace, which is pretty crazy with Spellbomb. Okay, here's my Uro. I'd like to put the Triome in so that I can work towards... Oh, I have to put a land card. I'm going to put the Triome in so I can work towards casting the back half of Uro. That is even just an attack trigger and not a combat damage trigger. Pretty good. Spellbomb comes back, they just discarded the land, makes sense, and my thing is dead. Okay, so if we hit blue source or green source here, we can put the Uro onto the battlefield. IOK whiffs completely, that's pretty good. Show and tell. Interesting. Do I want to show and tell in this Bonnie Paw? I think I kind of do. It's risky, but this is, when it enters the battlefield, yeah, I get that big ox too. I think that's pretty powerful. I don't know what they've got. Let's give it a go. At the very least, I will be able to prove why show and tell is not a good magic card. Okay, land. Interesting. The chat doesn't tell you what they did. Gonna play this because it lets me Uro next turn, and looking pretty good here. Whenever you attack, that's an attack with anything. Whenever you attack, you basically get the Uro trigger without any life, but it can take the land from your graveyard too, which is pretty powerful. Spellbomb comes back, and drawing a card. Yeah, that's definitely a combo. They can just pay 2 mana and discard a land card to draw a card. Every single land in their deck has cycling 2. Pretty sweet. All right, and we take it. All right, we're headed into match 3. We lost all 3 of the first matches in round 1, and then we won all 3 of the matches in round 2. So the team draft is tied up right now, which means that it's all going to come down to these last 3 matches here, which is pretty exciting. And we won the die roll, so that's step 1. This is going to be a turn 1 Concealing Curtains, potentially a turn 2 Torok if we don't find anything better, and Palantir is a pretty good quote-unquote curve topper here. Let's give it a go. All right, we're in a swamp, and we're going to conceal. Okay, so I did get to watch this opponent last round, and they seem to be on like a red-black gut aggro, but also reanimator package kind of thing. Gonna play this tap land here. They are the player that snagged that life death. They also have Animate Dead and the Atali that we saw in the draft, as well as Trumpeting Carnosaur, and then a whole suite of just kind of aggressive, like Inti, Gut, that kind of stuff. That does mean I'm terrified of casting Show and Tell against them. But hopefully if they have a slow start, I might be able to just win off the back of this Palantir. We'll see. There's the Harvester. Okay, I saw that in the previous match that I was spectating. They also have a Mox Jet in their deck, I believe. Something to consider, perhaps. Although I don't know what the counterplay is to Mox Jet, which, you know. You all know how I feel about Mox Jet at this point. Wow, clear 3 swamps off the top. That's a pretty good Palantir. Basically Ancestral Recall when you think about it. Okay, they take my Triome, that's totally fine. I'm also potentially going to be able to hit something with the Shallow Groove that they mill, so that's relevant as well. Dismember is going to target my curtains, and I'm going to take probably 4 here. They could discard something with the blood token that makes me take more, but we'll see. I'm hoping they take a good amount of damage here. Oh, they put Rabble Masters into their graveyard. Does that mean they have something for it? Imperial Seal, okay. That might go and get... Oh, it's going to turn on Delirium. Maybe that's why they put the creature in the yard. Oh, Crabomination. Okay, so that's interesting. I don't think that... Oh, so that's funny. This actually takes the top card of their library, which we know they just sealed for something. Is the top card of their library something I want to cast? It's probably good. I'm gonna... I'm just gonna get blown out by Atali or something here, but I actually think that trying to take that card that they just sealed for is something. If they put exactly Atali in, I actually don't even get their card. They get it because the triggers go on the stack in active player, non-active player order. Okay, I'll sacrifice this. That's fine. I'll also discard this. That's also fine. They wanted Life Death. So I can cast Life Death and I can put the Crabomination back onto the battlefield. That will lead me to die to Archon of Cruelty. I can't dismember the Archon of Cruelty either. I guess I just have to hope that I hit something crazy. Oh, what? Wait, why did it do that? Did I click on life by accident? Maybe I did. Okay, well, it is what it is. I am going to put... Am I just dead? I'm going to put this on the bottom. I'm going to try to draw the Toxic. I will die if I cast the Toxic, so I'll put this on the bottom as well. Yeah, brutal. This is why you don't put Show and Tell in your deck, kids. Somehow soul read that I had Triplicate Titan on top. Alright, I'll just lose. I'll take 3. They gain 3, so the Titan doesn't even matter. Oh, I'm just dead. I'm just actual dead. Okay. I will discard this Triplicate Titan happily. And I will... I mean, yeah, I don't know. I can attack for 9. That's about all I got. What did I... Oh, that was combat damage. Okay, yep. I thought I just randomly lost a bunch of life, and I was very confused for a second. Yeah, I don't think this gets any better. I could... I'll bring in the Relic, yeah, for the sideboard tech here. Chromatic Star doesn't need to be here, and yeah, they've got actual Reanimator in their deck, so... Alright, we're on the play. See how it goes. We found the Relic of Progenitus. No, this hand is bad. Mulligan. Okay, this one is better. We can put the Corpse Dance away, or maybe even the Toxic. I guess they're pretty aggressive. What if we just put the Island away? Okay, that's fine. We'll put the Island away. This time we are going to fetch for Zagoth Triumph just because we have black cards in our hand. Turn 1 Darcy. Pretty good. Let's get this Zagoth Triumph and head on over to our turn. Interesting. I could just slam the Turok and start clocking. It goes along with the Palantir plan, and we're pretty far away from triple black at this point, so I'm just going to do it. Flame Slash. Yes, that will kill my Turok. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a really powerful magic card. I recently listened to the episode of The Eternal Glory where they were doing the Modern Horizons 2 set review, and it's really funny to listen to them talk about how good Dragon's Rage Channeler is for like 45 minutes and then spend like 5 minutes on Ragavan, which of course ended up being the one that got banned. Gonna play this. I am going to cast this, and I'm gonna try and dome my opponent for a zillion. Okay, Deathmark is gonna stay on top. It's a good draw if they give it to me, and it hits them for 5 if they don't. I'm happy with either of those outcomes. I can also Corpse Dance it, which is pretty sick. Yeah, Plunderer. I think that's a good turn. If I Corpse Dance the Deathmark, I could also save it for the Troll. Oh, if I draw a land, I can just hit the Troll next turn. Shock this in, cycle the Troll, Corpse Dance the Troll. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, not that. Cycle. Swamp Cycling 1. Grab. Probably just this. And let's get in there. Crack in for 6. Put him down to 9. And hopefully that's low enough that they start giving me cards off of Palantir. Everyone's got a different threshold for how low they have to get before they're scared. This one can actually go on top. and this one can go on the bottom. The land is a good draw, I think. Okay, they started giving me cards. I can turn this into a death mark eventually and start attacking with it. And if they commit another creature, I can just go like Shifting Woodland, Toxic Deluge, and then I'll feel pretty good about my spot. They gave me another treasure, so this is going to deal me 2 damage. Grief. That's rough. But it is what it is. It's going to take my deluge, and now I'm going to have to fight a little bit harder. They get to attack me for 3 here, down to 12. I have them at 9. Yeah, grief is tough. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 down to 13, and then 3 down to 10. This puts me, I have 6 damage incoming here. Shallow Grave. Okay, so I get back Death Mark. I kill the Grief. I probably mill them. I don't really want to mill either of us, honestly. But I'll mill me because I've got the woodland. I'm going to take artifact out of my graveyard. So I'm going to have land, creature, instant sorcery. So that'll be fine. Okay, Shallow Grave it is. And this also gives me the opportunity to waste them off of a mana, potentially. Or strip them, I guess. Shallow Grave was a really good draw there. Hit this creature, hit this player. I am going to play this. I am going to destroy this land, just get them off of some extra mana here. And then, oh, I could have paid with the treasure token, I guess. I don't know if that's actually good into the Plunderer. They have to give me a card here, I think. And I've taken my own, let's see, I didn't hit anything meaningful here. Fallen Shinobi. Yeah, sure. The island can go to the bottom, the Fallen Shinobi can go to the top. So turning my woodland into a Turok next turn doesn't do anything. They are going to give me another treasure. I already have 5 mana here, so I think I'm going to sack the treasure to save myself 1 damage. I'm going to go to 7, 6. I think that is going to be relevant, probably. Hardcast Trumpeting Carnosaur. That's pretty bad. Discover 5 and Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. Now I don't think I have to bother cracking the treasure token because I am dead, even if I cast the Fallen Shinobi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Block this one as trample. Yeah, so super dead, even if I cast the Shinobi. So I'm going to hang on to the treasure token here. because it might get me out of something depending on what I draw. I don't know what I can draw. I guess Entomb would do it. Entomb or the other Entomb, Shallow Grave. Not Shallow Grave, Unmarked Grave, yeah. Unmarked Grave is 2 mana plus activate Woodland. That would be Xaxes. They have... Oh, I actually can't... 6 toughness. Okay, I actually can't kill them with Triplicate Titan here. Well, in any case, Zeotor's Proving Ground is definitely not it. I'm gonna cycle this and see what I've got. I can no longer activate the Woodland if I cycle the Zeotor's Proving Grounds, so just going to activate it. World Spine Worm is also not going to do it. Can play this, and is there anything I can draw off Palantir that saves me? I don't think so. Infernal Grasp is close but not quite. Bottom, bottom. And Crabomination does not have flash, unfortunately. Alright. You got it, opponent. GG's. Okay, well, while we're waiting for the other matches to finish, I will take a look at this deck real quick, and then I'll let you know who won the team draft. So, I wanted to talk about some of the Modern Horizons cards that we had in this deck, since those are the ones that are new to the cube. Crabomination was pretty interesting. I liked that cute line where we took the top card that opponent had just vamped for, or I guess it was Imperial Seal in this case. Shifting Woodland, though, that card was awesome. Felt great about that. I don't know if it's in this cube or not, but I've seen some other Vintage Cube curators that are excited about Shifting Woodland as an infinite combo piece for Time Vault, since it untaps and then you turn it into a Time Vault and take another turn. That's just infinite turns right there. I don't know if that's a thing that's happening in this cube, but even without it, it was really cool in this Reanimator deck. I like how it is kind of a bridge piece from Reanimator to Time Vault in that case. It also works with Dark Depths, which is something that not a whole bunch of Vintage Cubes are playing right now, but is definitely something. So a really versatile card right there. Excited about Shifting Woodland, for sure. I think that card is neat. I guess another thing we can do is actually spectate the other games. Let me pull one of those up. Yeah, so there's no way for me to actually see what the game record is here, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, let me know if there's anything I can click on to see what the game record is. But in this case, the player closest to us is on my team, MTG Josu Kaz over here. So we do need to win this match and also the other match that's currently going on in order to win the draft, since I did lose my match. Josu appears to be on like a band control kind of thing. Oko, obviously a really powerful magic card. And this is, of course, the opponent on the Simulacrum Synthesizer Tolarian Academy thing that we played against in match 1 and got absolutely deleted by. Yep, there's a Sensei's Divining Top and an Urza Saga activation, so Oko is pretty good against construct tokens, fortunately. It not only does it shrink them down to 3/3s if need be, but it also turns artifacts into not artifacts, which shrinks all of the other stuff too. Return Batterskull to its owner's hand. I'm sure that will come back next turn. We don't have the ability to actually cast it right here. They can give the construct token haste, maybe, and try and go after one of the planeswalkers. I think that line is pretty good. It's like construct token +1/+0 haste, and then swing in at Elspeth and try and knock some of those counters off. I don't know what is going on with this leyline binding. I'm gonna guess it probably hit a construct token at some point, or perhaps the germ token that Nettlecyst was on. I don't know. Okay, and get rid of that. I don't know. Let's see, where did these attackers go? The attackers went face. Interesting. Or maybe I'm not understanding how this works. Based on chat, it looks like they went face there. Okay, not too scary of a turn over there from what is a pretty scary deck. All right, it sounds like my other teammate that we're not currently spectating is up a game. This is a really tight draft. Oh, okay. The teammate that we're currently spectating is down a game. Oh, and okay, the other teammate won their entire match. So it all comes down to this. We are down a game here on band control, and it looks like we're way ahead in this game. So it's probably going to come down to game 3 of match 3 of round 3, which is super exciting. Team drafts are a lot of fun. If you've never given that a try, find 5 friends and run a team draft. I don't know what is coming out of this saga. We saw a Candelabra of Tawnos from this opponent. So they can make here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and then if another artifact comes out, it'll be a 5, 5. Candelabra doesn't strike me as particularly good in this spot, but it does at least make the construct token bigger. I guess they can untap the Mishra's Workshop if they have a big artifact, but not if they're trying to cast anything else. So if this is exactly Portal to Phyrexia, kill both of our creatures, and then attack either Oko or Elspeth, but not both, I think. My teammate just said in chat, watch this, you don't want to miss it. I think it's going to be Spelljacker. I think that's what we're about to see here. Now, Smirking Spelljacker, oh yeah. This card is really a house. I got turned on to this card, I believe, by Deinonychus. Wow, just straight up scooped. Yep, okay. And yeah, wow. I mean, it is Fractured Identity, but it comes on a 3/3 body, and it has Flash. This card is really strong. It exiles the spell even if you remove the Spelljacker. There's no clause where the spell comes back, like Spell Queller, for example. But yeah, super, super cool card. I ended up, I think I cut Fractured Identity for it in my cube. I like that it's only one color, and so it can go in a wider variety of decks. Yeah, I don't know. I think Spelljacker's cool. Give this card a try if you aren't playing with it yet. It is powerful and it's fun and just really neat card. We're headed into game 3 of match 3 of round 3 of this team draft. It all comes down to this. Opponent is on the play. Unfortunately, I don't get to see any of the hands or anything like that, so we're just going to have to watch the game unfold, and I'll do my best to kind of commentate on it. island and Spar's headquarters here. Basic planes and a Grim Monolith. A scary start. I'm told that my teammate here has a Mox in their hand, which they smartly have not run out yet. I believe we saw Portable Hole out of this opponent in match 2. Yep, here's the Mox Emerald. And we'll see what 3 drops. I think there's a Teferi in this deck at the very least. Teammate is asking if this player has Daze. I don't think we saw Daze out of this player. Okay, looks like we're choosing to play around Daze here. I don't know what we have. Oh, Prismatic Ending for the Grim Monolith. Nice. Hopefully that is a big kind of slam on the brakes here for opponent. There is the Portable Hole for the Mox. And balance? Interesting. Okay, so we're going to have to discard 3 cards here, but they're going to have to sack a land. Mishra's Bauble plus balance is really neat. Okay, we discarded our 4 drops and a Hedge Maze. I don't know what our hand is right now. Island Oko is apparently our hand right now. Not bad. Looks like opponent does not in fact have Daze, and hopefully we get to run away with this game with Oko Thief of Crowns. Talisman does not answer Oko. Zeranorb does not answer Oko. Alright, looks like we're getting in for 3 this turn. Opponent does still have 2 cards in hand, and a lot of their cards are really impactful, but they seem a little gated on mana here, so they sacked a land, they cast the Talisman, and they missed a land drop. So hopefully their hand looks like, yeah, okay, there's top, I guess. That might help them dig down to a land. But also, all of their impactful things are artifacts, and we can just turn them into 3/3s with Oko. Opponent is considering mana denial by elking the Talisman, which I actually think is kind of smart. Okay, there's a Plains. They're drawing Sensei's Divining Top next turn, so they have to spend an entire mana casting that card. I think it's kind of good. Does Oko's ult says, what, CMC 3 or less, if I recall correctly? Which I probably don't. I don't know who ever reads that part of that card. Oh, power 3 or less. Okay. Block here, we trade. I think in the long game, we're pretty favored here, being a control deck. We've got counter magic, we've got removal, and we also have an Oko on the battlefield. So I'm feeling quite ahead here. We can always swap a food token for, like, I don't know, a construct or really anything. What did we see? Golos. Golos does in fact have 3 or fewer power. Power 3 or less. Yeah. Top does not ever get elked unless something goes horribly wrong. elk is back. Gets a crack in for 3. I don't know what our hand looks like, but we have 5 mana now, and there's a Smirking Spelljacker in our deck, so that's cool. Mystic Forge is a great target for Oko, if you ask me. Or even a target for Remand. Yeah, not bad. Get to swap that out for a different card in our hand and just time walk the opponent right there. Waterlogged Grove can also be cashed in for a card. I'm wondering when we start to think about attacking with the Celestial Colonnade. I think we can just hold it back for like until it's literally lethal, personally. I'm feeling really far ahead with this Oko online. There's Teferi, probably just... Oh, should we plus? Okay. We could have considered minusing just to draw a card, like minus no targets maybe. I don't know what our hand looks like. Wow, and they scoop it up. And that's the draft. So that's pretty sick. Right down to the wire there, but we did take it down. Sick. All right, well, that was a really exciting one. Yeah, comeback from the 0-3 is pretty crazy. We lost all of our first matches, and then we won all of our round 2 matches, and then we went 2-1 in the finals. So, yeah, super exciting. I hope that was as fun to watch as it was to participate in. And yeah, I'm hoping to bring some more team drafts to the channel, honestly, because they have this extra aspect of this structure here. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, that's about it for this one. I'm gonna continue drafting in the Divination probably until another cube goes up on Moto or on Arena. So honestly, hop in there if you want to draft with us, and we'll see you next time.